Good afternoon. I've been at school getting my room ready to be painted, so I'm not coming to you in the morning, but in this rainy afternoon. And welcome to week 5 of Art Online. This week we're going to be working with shapes, and I'm going to read a book that I love so much because it's so clever and very simple and hardly any words, but great illustrations that tell the story. And the book is called Perfect Square. And instead of this book being rectangular, like this book, in the shape of a rectangle, this book that's called Perfect Square is in the shape of a, you got it, square. I love how the artist used, upside down, one line to show us the book was happy. He showed us he was happy by putting a little line that made it look like it was smiling. Perfect Square by Michael Hall. It was a perfect square. It had 4 matching corners and 4 equal sides. And it was perfectly happy, as noted by the lined smile that the artist put on the square. But on Monday, the square was cut into pieces and poked full of holes. It wasn't perfectly square anymore. So it made itself into a fountain that babbled and giggled and clapped. So the artist has rearranged the shapes that were cut from the perfect square. On Tuesday, the square was torn into scraps. So it made itself into a garden. Just had to add a few lines for the stems. On Wednesday, the square was shredded into strips. So it made itself into a park. I stacked all the strips up so that you could see the contours of the landscape. On Thursday, the square was shattered. Looks like broken glass or a stained glass window, maybe a spider web. So it made itself into a bridge. Can you see that? Bridge. On Friday, the square was snipped into ribbons. We call that pinked. The edges are pinked, like using pinking shears, which is a special kind of scissor that you use when you're cutting fabric so that it won't ravel. So the edges are pinked. Kind of a funny word, isn't it? So it made itself into a river. And I like how the artist is adding line drawings to give you a few more details of what's going on with the design that the square is making. On Saturday, the square was crumpled and rippled and wrinkled. So it made itself into a mountain. On Sunday, the square waited to see what was next. And it waited and waited, and nothing happened. Its 4 equal sides were confining, and its 4 matching corners were rigid and cramped. And now the square is not happy, and the artist has shown you by making a frown with one line. This artist has a lot of power with what he does with his lines. So it made itself into a window. made itself into a window that looked out on a mountain that gave birth to a river that was crossed by a bridge that led to a park that was home to a garden and that had at its center a fountain. That babbled and giggled and clapped, and all the children were having fun. I like that book. All right, so I want you to check out directions on my website, on the slides, or in Google Classroom. Pick an activity. There's some fun ones. And as always, send me a picture of what you've created. I miss you. I love you. Whew. Hope to see you soon. Take care and be safe.